When did the class clown take it too far? Lit a Roman candle on our bus ride home. Cops showed up and he went right out the back door and kept running. Never came back to school. Pulled out a chair from underneath a kid thinking it would be really funny when the kid fell. The kid ended up falling and cracking his head open and getting around 30 stitches. In a high school classroom with a chill teacher, someone made a joke about another kid's dick being small. So, that kid exposed himself in front of the whole class to prove that it was large. He got suspended. Kid was always doing dumb stunts just to make people laugh. He got sick of climbing on / in random things and jumping stairs one day and decided it'd be funny to smack into walls. His first few walls were fine as they were all concrete. There was a girl crying in the hallway and he figured he could make her laugh by making a funny face and tackling the glass door. He went through the door and needed stitches, leaving splatters of blood and broken glass on the way to the office. He yelled at my English teacher from across the room, "Your puns are more cancerous than an LT." Girl's name. She was terminally ill with cancer and never came back to school after that day. Senior year. Teacher wouldn't give her a hall pass to use the bathroom, which was ridiculous. Instead of taking a more conventional stand, like walking out of the room, she sat down in her desk and pissed her pants. She was suspended, I forget for how long. There were editorials back and forth in the school paper. I was on team teachers shouldn't try to control our bowels, but also maybe don't piss on the floor, though I do appreciate your taking one for the team. Junior year in high school in Algebra 2, the teacher was kind of a douche, so this one guy, let's call him Mike, would give him a hard time. This was a regular thing, and Mike would get kicked out of class for saying and doing some inappropriate stuff, but we all thought it was hilarious. One day, our teacher didn't show up to class. Word got around that his oldest son had died of a drug overdose and he had to take some personal time off. He didn't show back up until a week later and he looked really sullen and down. During class, Mike pulled out a can of Coca-Cola and started sipping it nonchalantly. Teacher had a strict no eating or drinking in class policy and Mike was aware of this. He told Mike to throw it away and step outside. Mike, the absolute ducking savage, says, "Look, I know you don't like Coke, but I'm sure your son did." Nobody laughed. Just silence. Some people didn't get it. The ones who did were just too shocked to say anything like me. Mike threw his drink away and walked out of the classroom while the teacher just sort of haphazardly continued his lesson, although we could tell Mike's comment ducked him up. He loaded up porn on someone's computer while they were in the bathroom. Teacher wasn't paying attention and the victim ended up getting suspended. When he ate part of the squid we were dissecting. Stomach pump for you, Chuckles. This one kid thought it would be funny to snort a line of that sour powder. This was no small line, mind you. I actually think he was rubbing it off the candy. Anyways, he does his line and instantly starts screaming. His nose was gushing blood and I honestly think he popped a blood vessel in his eye. Ran out of the room and later saw an ambulance come to the school. Don't do drugs. There was a class clown in my class and another one from the senior class at the time. They'd collaborated to throw toilet paper all over the schoolyard as a joke. I forget exactly what it was, but there was some kind of very important event going on that day and we were supposed to have a lot of visitors that afternoon. The principal was not amused. He said if they'd done that on any other day, he'd probably just let it go after making them clean it up. They got detention and one of the teachers made them personally apologize to the elderly janitor who had to clean that shit up in the dark when it was freezing cold. He farted loudly every single day in Mr. Jensen's social studies class. It got really old. My high school class clown made a joke in a dead silent classroom about boning a teacher with another teacher in the room. His situation afterwards wasn't great. We had a teacher in middle school who had a wig and a glass eye. We had 3 class clowns that teamed up, and at the end of the year, she left just because of their constant disruptions and bullying. I actually really liked her and always felt bad for her. Ha ha ha, old Gary. Well, he always used to tease this gay kid and everyone dared him to kiss him as a dare. The Ducker is still running the joke today, even got married to him. Gary knows how to do the long haul when he takes things too far. Can't wait until the big joke reveal and everyone laughs. A wasp. He then proceeded to throw an entire ducking desk at it. The wasp perched on the window. Whoops. Straight up just peed on the floor in the middle of class and convinced the teacher it was spilled water, so he cleaned it up. Honestly, not even class clown shit at that point, just being a gross dick. He didn't get in nearly enough trouble. Called our teacher's daughter, whose name is Mia Khalifa. The teacher then proceeded to search up Mia Khalifa in front of the whole class. This kid downed 9 ibuprofens in like 3 minutes because the teacher left the room. He managed to get a headache from it. It wasn't really funny, it was just sad. When I was in 3rd grade, we were all doing our thing, coloring, reading, etc. The class clown was being really noisy and kept goofing off. We were all having fun and the class clown eventually sat down. It wasn't long before he was laying on the floor, foaming out of his mouth, shaking violently. We all laughed. It was a joke, right? Before long the teacher came rushing over to see the new joke the kid came up with. She immediately called 911 and he was rushed out of the room. He had a seizure while the whole class thought he was joking. He recovered and everything was fine. I just feel bad for the kid. When he yelled, "I lost my virginity to my dog," during a quiet moment in class, every head whipped around to stare in horror. Ate a shit ton of notebook paper and ended up going home after he projectile vomited on the goddamn floor. Kid, class clown, in elementary school made fun of a boy no one liked. He was kinda an asshole, but one day the boy said his mom had a miscarriage and the other kid thought it would be a great insult later in the week to tell him something along the lines of, "Your brother is better off dead, it's a good thing your mom had a miscarriage." Don't think we've ever rallied for this asshole kid as hard as we did that day. Not cool. I was at an all-state music festival, basically a concert band that students from the entire state auditioned to perform in during high school, and during some downtime between pieces during the rehearsal, the conductor asked if anyone wanted to come up and say a joke into the mic. One of the percussionists raises his hand, walks up, and tells the following joke. What do you call a kid with no friends? A Sandy Hook survivor. I absolutely could not believe what I heard. This was just weeks or maybe a few months after the shooting. I don't remember if anyone laughed, I don't think they did, and he definitely got a stern talking to. When he took the razor out of a pencil sharpener and threatened to slit the black girl's throat. Teacher wasn't in the room and we were all just staring at him like, what the actual duck, man? I never saw him again after that day. When he casually laid down his pee-pee on my armchair to impress my girl best friend who was my seatmate. Big in it? He said with a proud smirk looking at my friend. Bruh. He tried to pants the teacher. Someone in my year at school, who wanted to be a doctor, drank a bottle of antibacterial hand wash for $5. He did it because there is nothing bad in there, his words. Needless to say, he got his stomach pumped. Kid in my band class still thought Yo Mama jokes were funny. We came back to school for the first time after Hurricane Sandy, and the kid goes to the teacher, "Yo Mama S," and the teacher cuts him off, "Died in the hurricane." The kid never told another one of those jokes in that class. One time the class clown asked what the teacher's wife, another teacher, was like in bed. It was so goddamn awkward. When our science teacher went into the lab closet and he blocked the door with a filing cabinet. Then later in the year he got caught as he was about to put baby oil on the floor. when he opened a can of tuna and put it in the teacher's bag. This teacher was such a nice lady and only ever tired to help him. Disgusting behavior. There was a story here in the UK not so long ago about some kid who was ducking around in class and flicking bits of food at people. He threw a bit of cheese at this kid who it turned out had severe allergies and ended up going into anaphylactic shock. School mishandled it quite a bit and the poor kid ended up dying. Not sure if this is exactly a case of the class clown taking it too far, he wasn't to know. But the consequences were dire even so. We had a younger, not great looking, substitute teacher and everyone was cracking jokes. The sub yelled at the class and the word disrespectful slipped out. This man had the audacity to tell out, "Bruh, your teeth are disrespectful," and got sent to the dean and was later suspended. Friend decided to shove his hands into my back pockets and grab my ass, wasn't wearing a belt. Ended up panting me straight to the floor. I was wearing spandexy type underwear at the time, caught those on the way down too and ended up like pulling it down to where my dick sprung out of them. What was bad was worse, as our track coach had just walked in looking for me and she got a full frontal. Not to mention the class saw everything as well as I tried to pull my pants up only to realize my dick was out on full display. Didn't even get detention SMH. Somebody in my botany class decided to blow up the AC in the room with a firecracker. It sucked because if they hadn't I would have been done with my finals a week earlier. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.